on, you guys? This is your boy Jeameave back in with Views from the Heart, and today we got a 2012 Audi A7 Premium Plus Quattro Edition with a chassis designation of Type 4G8. This is the first generation. Now what that means is this comes with a 3-liter supercharged V8 pushing 310 horsepower and 325 pound-feet of torque. Now before I delve into further details, this vehicle in my humble opinion is Audi's best looking vehicle. I think this is better looking than the Audi A8, the A4, the A5. I think this is Audi's best looking vehicle. And it's a shame because this is, like I said, the first generation, and this vehicle was first available in the United States in 2012, and it only came with this 3-liter supercharged V6 engine. And what I mean by that is the 2019 is now being introduced to second generation, and it's called the Type 4G9. And I think that this model, the previous generation, is a far better looking vehicle than the one that's currently coming out. I don't know, maybe the design will grow on me, but I think this vehicle in and of itself is one of the best looking vehicles, one of the best looking designs out of any vehicle today in the used market, or new or otherwise. And that's just me not even bragging or anything like that, or being an Audi fanboy or a German fanboy or anything like that. I really personally believe that this is one of the best looking vehicles out on the market. I mean, the lines, the way it's sculpted, its presence, it looks like honestly nothing else on the road, despite the fact that this shares the same platform with the Audi A6. It's kind of confusing to classify this vehicle in terms of the way Audi advertises it is, because it's not necessarily a sedan, it's really more so like a wagon. As you can see, I'm actually in the trunk. Like, this is the only vehicle in this segment that offers a power tailgate that is similar to a wagon, and Audi doesn't really sell this as a wagon. And it's pretty funny because, like I said, this competes with, you know, like a Mercedes CLS and a BMW 6 Series Grand Coupe, but this is the only one that has this low slung roofline that delves into a power tailgate which one can obviously sit in. Every other aforementioned competitor only offers a trunk. This offers the entire backspace interior, which I think is extremely cool and extremely unique, because you can fit pretty much anything in here. You can obviously fold down the back seats and, you know, have some fun or whatever. But you know, going further along, this vehicle has a curb weight of 4,210 pounds, and which is in and of itself pretty impressive, because again, remember, this is all-wheel drive. Quattro in Audi terms, 4 wheels, is all-wheel drive. So for it to have this curb weight, I think is honestly pretty impressive. Starting price, this base option back in 2012 started at $70,000, and you know, for any decently optioned one will quickly climb up into the $80,000 to $81,000 range to $82,000. And that's kind of tricky because it's not indicative. You would think that this car would come with a lot of options already, but you'd be sorely mistaken, because the options on this vehicle gets pretty pricey pretty quickly once you start adding them up. And like I said, just over base price, realistically speaking, you would get about $10,000 to $11,000 over base price. And I'm gonna take you guys on the inside to show you what's popping. But considering this is a 3-liter supercharged V6, it's made into an 8-speed ZF automatic transmission, and it gets you 18 city MPG and 28 highway, which I think is overall pretty impressive, you know. But let's go ahead and jump on inside and see what this bad boy is all about, because does it have the interior to match the exterior? Let's go ahead and find out. So let's see what's bracking in this bad boy. Ooh, man, this car is so sexy. But again, right off the bat, this, like I said before, this is Audi's best looking vehicle to me. I think the design of it is exquisite. I think they hit the nail extremely right on the head. Again, I think this is better looking than the R8. I think if I were to choose between an R8 and an RS7, I think I would have to go with an RS7. I mean, it has a seating for 4. It's not the largest vehicle in the world, don't get me wrong, but it has all-wheel drive, just as, you know, R8 does too with the Quattro Plus. But I don't know, something about this just seems very, I think it's because, you know, like obviously Volkswagen Group owns both Audi, Porsche, and Lamborghini, and you know, the R8 and the Huracan shares the same platform. So it's weird, because I would prefer the R8 over the Huracan, just because I feel like the Huracan is the Beverly Hills M3, M4. You see Huracans a lot, but you don't really see R8s. But you don't really see RS7s either. I think RS7s are definitely a lot rarer than both a Huracan and an R8. And I feel, you know, I'm a little bit more of, I like to carve my own lane when it comes to things, and I think an RS7 is definitely the way to do that. Obviously, this is not an R7, this is an A7. So going back to the Audi A7 and off my little tangent, this interior is really nice. Honestly, it's really clean. The wood grain in here definitely gives off an impression of it being real wood instead of like some sort of veneer or something like that. And I think that's really cool. But I have an issue. This is not a bad interior. This is a very good interior. But at the same time, this is approaching $90,000 with options, and I don't see enough in here for that. The BMW 6 Series again starts at $87,000, and I know that's a 650i anyway. That's a very big price jump and a price hike, but I feel like when you start getting into the close approaching $100,000, approaching $90,000 range, if you can afford that, a few, you know, 5-10 grand is not gonna hurt you. If you're in the neighborhood buying this vehicle brand new, you can afford either or. And honestly, this interior pales in comparison to the 6 Series. And it hurts it because I think this, and I'm not even being a BMW fan, but I think this looks better than the 6 Series. Not by a lot. I think the F13, the F Series generation. What in the world? That scared the hell out of me, but yeah, but okay. But as I was saying, this interior compared to the 6 Series pales in comparison. While the looks might be marginally better, the interior definitely is lacking in my opinion. I feel like in a vehicle that is of this price, there should never be Softux plastic on the dashboard. There should be leather. It should be leather wrapped. The seats are very clean. They're very comfortable, but they do lack, like again, the RS7 diamond quilted seats or diamond stitched seats. And like I said, it's kind of hard to compare, and it's kind of unfair to this vehicle to say that, because again, this is the base model. But I feel like the base model is definitely sort of a false premise, because again, just because this is a base model doesn't mean it's cheap. This is a very, very expensive car, and I feel like Audi, in terms of the materials used in here, I think they missed the mark on here. Exterior is lovely. Again, let me reiterate, this is not a bad interior, but compared to its contemporaries, I feel like the interior is not the best one, and that's kind of surprising to me, because usually Audi is touted as having the best interior, but from what I see, it's not. It's a lovely interior, it's a nice interior, but compared to what it's supposed to be competing with, the Porsche Panamera, BMW 6 Series Grand Coupe, Mercedes CLS, at least for this particular one, the A7s, the interior it's not good enough. It's honestly not good enough. It needs to be better. But you know, who knows? Maybe the driving will be as good as the 6 Series or something like that. Because honestly, I think this looks so good, and it's weird because the 6 Series to me looks so good as well. But it's really, really hard for me to determine. This is a very hard choice in my opinion. If someone was cross-shopping, you know, a 6 Series, a CLS, and an Audi A7. 6 Series you see pretty often, at least in LA. CLS you see pretty often as well, but you don't really see A7s, and again, that's something I truly appreciate, is being unique, being yourself, and liking what you like regardless of what other people think. And I think that is a very important notion and aspect of being a human being, is just being comfortable in your own skin regardless of what you look like or anything of that nature. But going back to the A7, this, like again, I'm not bashing the interior for what it is. I'm only comparing it to what it's supposed to be competing with and what it's priced against. And I feel like the interior comes in last. This is definitely better than, you know, your C class and your E class and your 3 Series, things of that nature. But it's just, if I am buying this vehicle brand new and I'm spending nearly $90,000 after tax, you know, like I said, with options, and no one buys a base model car unless it's like for a rental fleet or something like that. If you're gonna buy this car brand new for personal use, you're gonna want to have everything and not, you know, miss a couple things just because it's skipping dollars or anything like that. And like as aforementioned, if you're even looking at this vehicle brand new, you can afford it. At least you should anyway. If you can't afford it and you're looking at it, you have much bigger issues to worry about. Remember, drive what you can afford, and there's no need to impress. What your modesty and what you can afford will impress people, as opposed to faking it till you make it. But you know, a lot of people try and do the latter, and hey, works for them, works for them. But for me, I try and follow a different mantra in my life. But you know, with that being said, this interior is lovely. The steering wheel is rather thin, but it feels nice. You know, it has like nice cross stitching on it, etc. The infotainment system is nice. You know, Audi does have one of the best infotainment systems on the market, and it's very clean. And you know, it's something that this interior, this car, again, for this segment, is the only one that offers a power tailgate. So obviously, if that's something that is of crucial need to you, find something about it that can be of extreme use, go with the Audi A7. There is really no wrong answer to go with any of these vehicles when it comes to the CLS, Mercedes CLS, BMW 6 Series Grand Coupe, or an Audi A7. This is probably the toughest segment, in my opinion, to choose in terms of what you're looking for. Now, granted, I have not driven this vehicle yet, so I can't give my full input as to whether or not I would choose this vehicle over a 6 Series or the equivalent CLS, because for me personally, the driving dynamics is something that is extremely important to me. If I'm buying a vehicle, it's something that I'm gonna drive, and I'm gonna drive daily, and I'm gonna enjoy daily. So if it's not fun, or if I'm not enjoying it, then there's an issue for me personally. Now, obviously, not everyone's the same. Not everyone's looking for a sporty-oriented car or anything like that all the time, or just a fun vehicle. Some people just prefer A to B, to be pampered and have a luxurious driving for to drive well and things of that nature. But not everyone's looking for a fun, engaging driving experience. And that's, for me personally, at least with my current age, that's what I look for in any vehicle that I drive, whether it's a S-Class or a luxury-minded vehicle, or whether it's a sporty-minded vehicle. And this is a kind of a cross combination of both. This has a little bit of a sport back, a little bit of sportiness, all-wheel drive, with luxury in mind as well. That's what I appreciate with these kind of vehicles. It has luxury, but it also tries to infuse some sportiness into it, whereas opposed to, it's not a luxury bar that's going down the road with little to no transient road feedback. And that is a very hard segment to analyze and to sell in, because you're looking for a particular customer that does its research for the most part and understands what they're looking for. So the competition is really that you really have to offer a lot over its competition in order for that particular customer to say, well, I will go with this one over that one. And again, I understand how hard it is, because you're trying to appeal as many people as you can, but you understand that not everyone's gonna like it due to, you know, like I said, the sloping roofline in this vehicle, its extremely good looks is afforded by the sloping roofline. Remember, this vehicle is sharing the platform with the Audi A6. This is an Audi A6 with an elongated power tailgate and a sloping roofline. And with the exquisite looks comes at a sacrifice of headroom. As you can see, I'm not the tallest person, but my head back there in the back seats almost touches the roofline. And so if I am not the tallest person in the world, and any person that is around the neighborhood of 6 feet to 6 feet plus, you're gonna have a pretty bad time in the back. And this can only really reasonably comfortably sit 2 plus 2. This is a four passenger person vehicle max. You're not gonna sit anyone in the middle of the seat, so it doesn't even have a seat back there. You're gonna be sitting on plastic, and it's gonna be overall extremely uncomfortable. Don't play yourself. So if you are a tall person and you have tall friends and a tall family, unless you just use this as a 1+1, you know, you and your best friend, your wife, or whatever, sitting in the front, you're gonna be comfortable. There's gonna be absolutely no issue with that. But if you try and fit a bunch of basketball players in here from the front and the back, yeah, this is not a vehicle for you. It's not big enough. It's really not. Even person my height sitting behind someone tall would be uncomfortable in here. And it's not the worst thing in the world. Like, again, it has back seats, you know, offers a little bit more utility, you can fit more things of that nature, not to mention the amazing trunk space. But it's not really a family hauler like that, and that's kind of sad, because you want to look sexy, you want to look you want to look clean, you want to have everything that, you know, a sedan would have, but then you realize that it's kind of small in here. So it depends on how you look at it, and you know, it sucks when it comes to thinking about things like that, because yeah, I see you, Robert, in the back. But again, this is a nice interior. It's just I feel it kind of pales in comparison to what is offered by its competitors, and it's a little bit small, a little bit compact, but I think the exterior makes up for it, and I think the interior offers enough to possibly dissuade your decision from its competitors. Again, I think it looks better than the CLS, and I think it looks better than the 6 Series. But let's go ahead and take this bad boy on a drive and see what's like to drive, because to me that's the main deciding factor, in my opinion, to see if I would actually choose the vehicle over a 6 Series Grand Coupe or a CLS equivalent. So let's go ahead and jump into the driving segment and see what this bad boy offers. Let's go ahead and get it. So what's this like driving a 2012 Audi A7? As you can see, we got Rob right here again, rolling with me shotgun. He's enjoying it now. He's enjoying it now. He's getting a little bit more comfortable. Yeah, coming out of the shell. It only took like 30 videos.
Go in the back seat right now. You know what? It only unbuckle this real quick.
It only took like 30 videos, but you know, he's breaking out of the show, teaching him, showing him the ropes a little bit. But you know, let me just hit this little gas button real quick, this little gas pedal, and see what this bad boy is popping.
And then we're about to run out of gas.
Well, it's definitely not as fast as the 6 Series, that's for sure.
I was like trying to see if it was in the cars.
Kind of wait for it.
Nah, I was actually trying to wait for any of the cars. You know, I was just like, I had that scared look in my face. I was like, man.
You see, after so many videos that you've driven with me, you still don't trust me?
Nah, I don't trust the people that are parking out. Like, you know, like leaving from their own damn house parking lot. Oh, I'm not so prepared. Probably parking.
But so far it's riding pretty well. Honestly, the steering is pretty light. It's far lighter than the 6 Series, but you know, I'm gonna try and focus a little bit more on terms of what the steering feel and transient feedback is like to me, so hold off on that for the most part. But other than that, as I said to the views before you know, we hopped and started doing the driving, what do you think about its interior? Like I said, a non-biased people, what do you think about its interior compared to the 6 Series coupe that we did?
On that one, technically with the right interior and everything,
it's kind of unfair, but you have to remember too that this vehicle is still approaching $90,000 after taxes. It's still in a very expensive vehicle.
I mean,
they're both very expensive,
but to me it's just missing something. I know the newer ones,
it's like missing something.
Yeah, like the newer ones, they got it right on the money, because I've seen it countless times, and it's amazing, especially with the
it's weird because like the A7 and the S7 and R7, the interior looks really clean, but that 650 was not even an M6 and the interior was so clean.
Yeah.
Like, why
the M4 package? But it just, I guess I was attracted by the black chrome. Maybe because of that and the red interior and then the red stitch, you know.
But the thing that I noticed too is that even up here on the dash on this car, it's missing. It's not wrapped with leather.
Yeah.
Like, why? This vehicle is nearly $90,000. It should come with that just because.
It's because of this thing.
The wood grain does look nice. You know, it's not a bad looking, you know, accent.
If you're an older cat, you probably like this.
But it looks cool though, because this is one of the first wood, you know, accents that I've seen that looks like genuine real wood.
Yeah.
It doesn't have any sort of plasticky veneer look on it. It really looks like real wood. Like they just really chopped the redwood down. It's like right up in here. But other than that, you know, I feel like it rides decent, but it feels more like a sports car to me. It's not the most comfortable thing, but I enjoy that. Like I said, this isn't an S-Class or anything like that. It offers a little bit of more sportiness. But as I'm driving around and feeling the steering wheel, it is extremely light, and that's kind of sad to me. It's really, really light, and it's not offering the feedback that I'd personally want. But it's weird because although the steering feel is very light, it still offers more feedback than that CTS 2.0T that I did. That was the worst steering I've ever experienced in my entire life. But so I'm actually kind of impressed. This steering wheel for this A7 is light, but it's still offering decent enough feedback. It's not to the extent or amount that I'd want to, or that I personally want out of my personal vehicle, but it's not bad. It's serviceable. It's giving me enough to feel confident. And you know, so I'm gonna see if it, I don't know, maybe I need to put this in sport mode or something, because yeah, it feels slow.
It is.
It really, it doesn't feel fast enough.
I don't know what they did on the R7, but boy,
it's just okay. You know?
I feel like my car can beat this.
It can, because think about it. Your G37 has 330 horsepower in that neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
And it weighs what, like 3,800 pounds? This has 310 horsepower and weighs 4,200 pounds. You'll beat it.
Yeah, just I don't know. I expected this to be a little bit more.
I know, especially considering it has all-wheel drive. You think it would just give you at least a little jump, you know? It, even in sport mode just now, it didn't offer that either, and that's I think it's like the first car I felt where it feels underpowered.
It's getting restrained. I don't know. It's like it's holding back. Unleash the beast, but
and there's nothing mechanically wrong with this vehicle. It just really feels interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty clean.
I don't know if it's because we had too much expectations, you know, like.
I mean, it is an A7. I mean, before when I first saw it, I was like, dang, that thing is nice, like an A7.
Yeah, it looks exquisite from the outside. It looks amazing, but I feel, don't get me wrong, this is not a bad interior, but I feel like when you compare it to what it's supposed to compete with,
What's the top of the line, the Prestige one?
Yeah, this is the Premium Plus.
Yeah,
I did just remember that too. This is not the Prestige, but it's really hard, you know, to really say exactly, because it's difficult. It's different. You want to. My thing on it is, when you spend so much on a vehicle, regardless, right off the bat, this is $70,000. Right off the bat. This is base price starting when zero options is $70,000.
And 70, you know what I can do? Or buy.
And honestly, for $70,000, I don't know if I would be happy. It's not. I feel like it's not fast enough. The interior.
It's kind of like a family car.
I don't know, I guess it has some get up once it reaches there, but it's not thrilling to get there. Like, you really have, it's not. It feels too subdued. It feels,
it's like you don't get that smile on your face when you.
Yeah, you just kind of like, oh, okay, we're going, okay, we're getting a little faster now.
Finally.
But and I said this before, like the A7 is like my favorite designed vehicle of Audi. I think this is the best looking Audi. I think this looks better than the R8. I think this looks better than everything else.
Better than the R8?
I personally think so.
Bro, you serious?
Especially the new R8. Remember, the previous generation R8 was, in my opinion anyway, better looking. The R8 is not a bad looking car.
I mean, they did change the engine style. I mean, they did try to keep it modern, but not change that much.
I just prefer more curves. I think like Audi is moving towards too much lines, too much like surgical precision type, and they should have just kept it what made Audi Audi. Nice clean curves with some lines dashed into it. You know what I mean? I feel like they're being a little bit too angular in the design language right now. What made Audi different was because they had nice sculpted lines with some nice curvature, like how this vehicle curves. I feel like they're straying away from that, especially with the new R8. It's very angular, you know, like especially with the headlights. It's very, it doesn't look the same anymore. And it's not a bad looking vehicle, don't get me wrong, but it's not what made me fall in love with Audi design language before. And I don't know if it's because the head designers that really created this design language of Audi moved to Kia, which, for those of you who may not realize, why some Kias tend to have very peculiar, similar characteristics to Audis, because, well, their chief designer went on board with Kia. I don't remember his exact name, but I mean, you can look it up for yourself. And I feel like, I feel like perhaps maybe that's why their design language is struggling a little bit. Because I tell you right now, right off the bat, the 2019 A7 compared to this doesn't look as good. Maybe the design will grow on me. You know, that has happened to me many times before, where I don't know if it's because I accepted it and realized there's nothing I can do, so I kind of just deal with it.
I have tested out like the newer Audis. You are kind of right. So I don't know why they changed everything. I'm not even a fan of the keys. It's like plastic. They try to be like the new Mercedes keys, but the new Mercedes is like, it's like luxurious.
Yeah, I feel like Mercedes for the new cars, the new segment, they have by far the best interiors right now. I feel like it's Mercedes for interior, BMW second, and Audi, unless you're getting like an RS model. Yeah. And if it's not a Prestige edition, it's, I don't know, like, it's really hard to talk about and determine everything, because it's still a very close segment. Because one, this can be arguably the best looking car in a segment, but it doesn't have the best looking interior, nor does it drive the best. So which one would you choose? Do you go purely for exterior looks, or do you know, sacrifice here and there? And I don't know, I think personally, I think the 6 Series offers everything. Yeah. At least that particular one anyway. It offered the interior, it offered the looks, and this, honestly, it's, to me, I'm disappointed because I feel like it's only offering looks.
And it's almost the same color too. Almost.
And the same price.
Yeah. So
right now, and you, especially at Carlux, shout out to Carlux once again, this vehicle is going for around $22,000. That's the average asking price.
Yeah, for $2,000 more, you can get the 6 Series.
And you know, in that price range, $2,000 shouldn't really mean much to you. Yeah. If you're searching for something you want and not just settling for something.
If you're happy with the vehicle, then by all means.
Yeah. Like, again, this is not a bad vehicle, but it's just, when I try and get my honest opinions on what vehicles offer and what it's compared to and what it's priced at, and honestly, I don't know, Robert. Considering this is my first A7, I'm a little disappointed. I honestly am. I don't get me wrong. I know I would love an RS7. I know that would have the kick and the exhilaration that I think is missing from here. Mm-hmm. This isn't necessarily slow, but it's not fun. Even driving the Q5 that had 270 horsepower was fun. It felt like it was doing something. It wasn't fast by any means, but it gave you something. Yeah. You don't even hear the exhaust in here. You don't hear that V6. You don't hear no supercharged whine. And you know, this is for the average customer that drives this would never even want to hear that. But I don't know, Robert. I wouldn't say this is like oh my god, I'm super disappointed, but maybe my expectations were just a little too high.
I think it was a bit too high.
I think that's what I'm struggling. I think my expectations were just a little too much. I think I set the bar a little too high. And that's not a bad thing, and it's not necessarily a good thing either. It's just kind of, it is what it is. Again, this is a lovely vehicle. It does offer a lot, but does it offer enough? I think that's really up to the individual to determine that. It's hard for me to say what someone else will like. I can only ever really say what I like. Would I still purchase this vehicle? Honestly, I would consider it, but I wouldn't give a definitive answer like I would with that 6 Series that we did. Would I have bought that 6 Series? Absolutely. That interior was next level. Was it a good amount more expensive than this? At least brand new? Most likely, yeah. But again, my argument is brand new, if you were looking for this vehicle, $5,000 to $10,000 difference wouldn't mean much to you. And if it means getting an interior like that over this, brand new, I would choose the 6 Series every time.
Yeah.
Because like I said, realistically, if you can afford this in the $80,000 range, you can afford a $90,000 vehicle.
Yeah. It's not that much big difference anyway.
It's really not. And I don't know. It rides okay. It feels like I don't know. I guess I am disappointed because I expected more out of an A7, and I don't know if the A7 is worth it. Maybe an S7. I would definitely think an RS7. I haven't driven one yet, but I can't imagine around 600 horsepower not being
seen
fun.
it in person and I heard it. Yeah, it's definitely worth it. The carbon fiber, everything is just top notch. Everything.
Exactly. And with that being said, like again, like we're in English, West Side, Best Side, shout out. But again, English streets absolutely horrible.
Yeah, horrible.
And I'm feeling most, if not almost every bump in here.
That is true.
It's not the worst feeling experience, but I don't know, it's when you get the impression of a sedan, you expect a little bit more comfortability than I would in a coupe. It's not as harsh as my personal coupe, but I feel like it's not offering enough either way. I feel like it's really in the middle, and I feel like it can't really be in the middle.
Yeah, it can. Especially for this much. Maybe it came out new and I still.
Because honestly, brand new, I'd be looking at this vehicle and I'm like, okay, what is it really offering over a CLS or a 6 Series?
Yeah.
The looks, to probably a lot of people, yeah, it offers an extremely sexy exterior. But then what else? It feels underpowered. This is probably one of the first vehicles I can say that it needs more power.
Damn, I don't know which one you were more disappointed. This one or the CTS? Damn.
Well, the CTS, if that was given to me, I would sell it. If this was given to me, I would still like it.
Damn, I really wish you would have done the review for the XTS.
Oh, you guys saw that?
Yeah.
I looked at it and I was like, I'm not really feeling it. To be honest.
Yeah. I really should have went to go put gas, bro. I'm worried. That's why I keep looking over here. So if you guys see me looking around, so I'm really trying to figure out where the hell is the gas station, and we
go put in gas. Oh wait, isn't there a gas station right there at the corner? No, that's McDonald's, right?
Nah, yeah, on this corner, yeah, we gotta do a U-turn.
Oh.
There's a gas station over here.
Which one you want me to go to? Make
I don't know, man. Yeah, sorry about this.
I told him we should, but he was like, no, man, we don't want to do.
No, we good, we good.
But again, it's a nice car. It's a lovely car. It's just when you come as a consumer and you do your research and you realize what other options are there, lovely turns into just a good vehicle, you know. And I can't honestly really say that this is the best bang for your buck. It's still a great car, but when it's compared to its contemporaries, it's lacking in a little too many areas personally.
Yeah, honestly. And
you know, again, this vehicle is available on Carlux. Shout out to Carlux. I do love the A7. It drives well enough for me personally on a daily basis. Well enough for me to consider it, but it's not something that I love either. It's just, you know, kind of there. Sorry, I was looking to see if I could just swoop in here, but
yeah, that's what I was trying to look. Oh, no U-turn. Oh, that's wonderful.
I could just make a left here anyway.
Yeah, just posted that.
But sorry, going off on many different tangents, but again, would I buy this vehicle? Yes. But would I buy it if I was an informed customer? That'd be a lot harder to decide, and I think that's really honestly only a decision someone who really loves Audi or just enjoys what Audi offers, wants to be within an Audi ecosystem, would have to make. And It's a really tough decision. Like I said, it's, even though this hasn't been the most glaring review about this Audi A7, it still speaks a lot about it, because there are many negatives I've said about this vehicle, but yet I still have a hard time choosing and not choosing it, which is kind of oxymoronic to say. I've said a lot of negatives and not that many positives, yet I would still have a hard time choosing or not choosing it. So I mean, you can take that for how you will. It doesn't really make sense. It doesn't really make sense to me either, but I don't know if it's because I just really love the A7 that I don't know. Yeah, never mind. I'm not gonna risk. We don't need to be doing risk.
I'm gonna, well then, this is the end of the review.
But again, thank you guys so much for watching. This is Views from the Heart. Got Superman Rob in the building next to me. Well, not in the building, but in the car. You guys know.
Yeah, probably my last time I'll be in the front. So.
Yeah, right. You're gonna be in the front every time now. But once again, shout out to Carlux. This vehicle is available at Carlux. It has been a pleasurable experience. I do love the A7, or at least I love the idea of it. I'll put it this way. I love the design of an A7, S7, R7. But I think I would have to shoot for an S7 or an R7 to be happy. I don't think the A7 offers enough at this point in time. But hey,
yeah, unless we get a prestige version.
well, when we do get a prestige version in hand, I'll be sure to do a review on it. But this video's not coming to a close. Thank you so much for watching. It's your boy Jeameave, and I'm out.